Sun Totu received her salary and naturally had to arrive at work on time. The next day, when there was only 1 minute left until 8 o'clock, she hurriedly sat in front of Ren Xinzheng. Ren Xinzheng took out the pre-prepared Huangdi Neijing for her to read carefully. This dry book was a bit overwhelming for Sun Tutu. She only graduated from junior high school and found it difficult right away. It was known that she would not be obedient. Ren Xinzheng reminded her that she had already signed an agreement yesterday and she had to be obedient after receiving her salary. Sun Tutu was speechless and had no choice but to move a stool and sit next to a small table in the training class while reciting the book. Lesson from Xian. This time, when she heard Xian complaining about traditional Chinese medicine, anyway, he had nothing better to do, so Xian readily agreed to study for a few days. Despite coming from a poor family, Zhao Liquan had ambitious aspirations. After finally getting into college, he planned to become successful and lead the people in his village to prosperity or escape from the mountains. Ren Tianzhen and Xian understood the heavy burden on Zhao Liquan and even gave him the fruits and milk that the hospital had sent as condolences. Zhao Liquan didn't hesitate and put them all into his own backpack. Zhao Liquan participated in interviews at several hospitals, but unfortunately, Yang Xiaohong was a well-known lawyer in the local area, commonly referred to as Miejue Shitai, an honorific title. She rarely lost the cases she took on. One day, after winning another lawsuit, as she walked out of the courthouse, she ruthlessly refused to shake hands with her colleagues. She quickly called the hospital. The ambulance finally arrived, but it was too late for the best rescue efforts, and her colleague passed away suddenly. This incident had a heavy impact on Yang Xiaohong. The phrase, "it's best to never see each other again," that she had just said, had unexpectedly become a reality. Having witnessed a scene of death, Yang Xiaohong walked the streets in a daze. When she saw an advertisement for a traditional Chinese medicine apprenticeship class, she immediately enrolled. Sun Tutu was in charge of admissions for the first time. When she saw Yang Xiaohong readily enrolling without even asking about the tuition fee, she felt that this person was very arrogant. Ren Xinzheng's reputation was well known, and soon the class was filled with students. Sun Tutu and the teacher cleaned the classroom together. It hadn't been used for a long time, and the windows couldn't even close properly. The teacher asked Ren Xinzheng to tell Liu Changsheng to fix the windows. According to the requirements, the apprenticeship class needs to collect basic information from each student. Yang Xiaohong reported her foreign name. Yang Xiaohong publicly took out her doctoral degree certificate. Xian and Tianzhen had master's degrees, and they finally met someone else with a doctoral degree. On the first day of class, an unexpected incident occurred. A deranged woman rushed into the training class and accused Yang Xiaohong of being a murderer, claiming that she had killed her husband. It turned out that the woman's husband was the same person who had been taken away in an ambulance that day. The insane woman believed that Yang Xiaohong had caused her husband's death due to anger. How could that be possible? Sun Tutu poured a bucket of water on the deranged woman's head, finally calming her down. Ren Xinzheng's wife realized that something was wrong and immediately examined her pulse. It was discovered that the deranged woman had hysteria and was also pregnant, but the fetal heart rate was unstable, so she was immediately sent to the hospital. Ren Xinzheng's friend Liu Changqing has recently been discussing a project for a medical and nursing center. He has extensive resources and a silver tongue, which has piqued the interest of the other party. However, due to the long payback period, they were cautious and inquired carefully, asking Liu Changqing about his advantages. Liu Changqing deliberately boasted that the dean of the medical college, Ren Xinzheng, is his friend and has just resigned to support him in his entrepreneurial venture. He is currently establishing an apprenticeship class to promote the spirit of traditional Chinese medicine. As soon as the other party heard Ren Xinzheng's name, they immediately became interested and insisted on meeting him right away. When Liu Changqing and his team arrived at Ren Xinzheng's office, Ren Xinzheng was busy swatting flies. He is skilled at treating illnesses and saving lives, but not at using official jargon or being deceitful. The other party asked if Ren Xinzheng already had a well-established teaching outline and detailed plan for the apprenticeship class. Ren Xinzheng truthfully replied that he did not, and mentioned that it was his first time opening an apprenticeship class, so he was learning as he went along. Ren Xinjiang's response was completely different from Liu Changqing's previous claims. Liu Changqing had boasted that Ren Xinjiang not only had exceptional medical skills but also had valuable experience in teaching acupuncture. Liu Changqing noticed that some of the investors were wavering, so he seized the opportunity to suggest that Ren Xinjiang diagnose the big boss's pulse. The investors were eager to give it a try since not everyone has the chance to be diagnosed by a renowned Chinese medicine doctor. Ren Xinjiang glanced at his watch and mentioned that the class was about to start, so he asked them to come back next time. Liu Changqing further suggested that everyone could benefit from listening to a lecture by a renowned master. Ren Xinjiang explained that today's class would cover the emergency treatment of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden deaths. The group exchanged puzzled glances, and Liu Changqing was dissatisfied with Ren Xinjiang's response. In Ren Xinjiang's classroom, only Sun Tutu dared to sleep on the desk. Ren Xinjiang used this as an opportunity to remind everyone that during class, they should maintain a proper learning demeanor. Even if they feel sleepy, they shouldn't use their phones or appear distracted. At the very least, they should keep their minds engaged while dozing off. Ren Xinjiang was lenient towards Sun Tutu, but she seemed unaware of her own behavior. She already had an unsavory reputation in society, and her master had a negative impression of her. Sun Tutu's best friend heard about the apprenticeship class and specifically took time off to attend. She pleaded with Ren Xinjiang to allow her to sit in on the class, emphasizing that as a nurse in the hospital, knowledge of emergency treatment was essential. Ren Xinjiang made an exception and agreed. At lunchtime, the ordered takeout arrived. Upon hearing that Sun Tutu could smell and recognize dishes, Shivan initially thought she was boasting. He intentionally added a little something to each takeout box and asked Sun Tutu to guess. To everyone's surprise, Sun Tutu got everything right. She not only identified the ingredients and seasonings but also accurately described the cooking techniques. Everyone was impressed, and Ren Xinjiang, watching from the side, was pleasantly surprised. He happily told his wife that Sun Tutu had a natural talent and a keen sense of smell, showing potential in studying traditional Chinese medicine. Sun Tutu received praise from everyone and immediately agreed to take charge of the meals in the future. Currently, the students reside and eat in the apprenticeship class, and all expenses are covered by Ren Xinjiang. His wife suggested he think of ways to raise funds, but Ren Xinjiang was not skilled in such matters. He asked his wife to handle the financing for now and inform him when things became critical. Ren Xinjiang's salary at the hospital was substantial, and his expenses were not excessive, so he had grown accustomed to finding ways to support himself. Shivan, Ren Tianjin, and Sun Tutu went to the supermarket together to buy cooking utensils for the apprenticeship class. While they were there, they encountered someone promoting a Taobao store. Ren Tianjin politely declined the person's friend request, but Sun Tutu, well aware of the difficulties of starting a business, readily added the person on WeChat. Shortly after, they noticed that the girl promoting the store had fainted. Items around her fell to the ground, and she appeared pale, clutching her abdomen tightly. Her lips even turned purple. Xian, being a pediatrician trained in Western medicine, immediately determined that she was experiencing low blood sugar. After confirming that the girl had indeed skipped breakfast, Ren Tianjin swiftly opened her acupuncture kit and applied acupuncture according to the treatment for low blood sugar. After a short while, the girl's color returned to normal and she was finally able to stand up. This incident made Sun Tutu feel a sense of accomplishment. During dinner, she happily told her master and mistress about their rescue at the supermarket. Based on Sun Tutu's description, Ren Xinjiang and his wife realized that it wasn't as simple as it seemed. The fact that the girl tightly held her abdomen indicated that something was wrong. When they heard the location of the acupuncture treatment from their son, they were startled and quickly asked where the girl lived. Since Sun Tutu had added the girl on WeChat during the day, she was able to find out where she lived quickly and promptly took her to the hospital. The girl's life was out of danger, but the emergency room had to remove one fallopian tube, which would reduce her chances of conceiving in the future. In reality, she had an ectopic pregnancy, but Ren Tianzhen mistakenly treated her as having low blood sugar. The miscarriage that occurred that day was directly related to Ren Tianzhen's actions. Back at home, Ren Xinzheng criticized Ren Tianzhen severely and was almost on the verge of hitting him. Reflecting on the frightening moment just now, Ren Tianzhen felt a deep sense of remorse.